Welcome back, students. Let us move to the next point, a very important point of this topic, law of demand. The full question can be there about law of demand. State and explain law of demand. So when you explain the law of demand, you have to go step by step. So the first point in the answer is introduction. The law of demand was introduced by Professor Alfred Marshall in his book Principles of Economics, which was published in 1890. The law explains the functional relationship between price and quantity demanded. This much of introduction is enough. Second point, statement of the law. According to Professor Alfred Marshall, other things being equal, higher the price of a commodity, smaller is the quantity demanded, and lower the price of the commodity, larger is the quantity demanded. A very simple. Other things being equal, higher the price of a commodity, smaller is the quantity demanded, and lower the price of the commodity, larger is the quantity demanded. So in other words, other factors remaining constant, if the price of the commodity rises, demand for it falls, and when the price of the commodity falls, demand for the commodity rises. So higher the price, lower the demand, lower the price, higher is the demand. So there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. This is again very important in individual demand, in market demand. I told you the same here. There is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. This can be asked for true or false. Symbolically, the functional relationship between demand and price is expressed as dx is equal to function of px. Dx is equal to function of px, where d is demand for a commodity, x is commodity, f is function, and px is price of a commodity. That means demand for a commodity depends upon the price of the commodity. The third point of the explanation is assumptions. The law of demand is based on the following assumptions. Students, understand one thing, when the assumptions are there, you have to give the pointers. All the points you have to give. Here we have to discuss 7 assumptions, and in front of that you can write remains constant or no change. So number 1 point, constant level of income. It is assumed that consumers' income would remain constant. Second, no change in size of population. It is assumed that the size of the population remains unchanged. Any change in the size and composition of population of a country affects the total demand for the product. Third, prices of substitute goods remains constant. It is assumed that prices of substitutes remain unchanged. Any change in the price of substitutes will affect the demand for the commodity. Next, prices of complementary goods remain constant. It is assumed that the prices of complementary goods remain unchanged because a change in the price of one good will affect the demand for the other. Next, no expectations about future changes in prices. It is assumed that the consumers do not expect any further change in the price in the near future. If the consumer expect a rise in prices in future, they may demand more in the present even at existing high price. Next, no change in taste, habits, preference and fashions. It is assumed that consumers' taste, habits, preferences, fashions, etc. should remain unchanged, because any change in these factors will lead to the change in demand. And the last, no change in taxation policy. Taxation policy of the government has a great impact on the demand for various goods and services. So, it is assumed that there is no change in the policy of taxation declared by the government. So, these are the 7 assumptions. Now, the third point is the explanation of the law of demand. The law of demand is explained with the help of example, like one demand schedule and diagram. Now here in the table we make 2 columns, the prices of the price of the commodity X, then quantity demanded of commodity X. So price here of X commodity, first price is the original price is 50, original demand is 1. Price fall to 40, demand rises to 1. Price falls to 30, demand rises to 3. Price falls to 20, demand rises to 4. Price falls to 10, demand rises to 5. So price falls from 50 to 40 to 30 to 20 to 10. Demand rises from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 and 4 to 5. That means higher the price, lower is the demand, and lower the price, higher is the demand. So there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. As price falls, demand rises and vice versa. Okay, very simple example, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Price falls, demand rises. Let us see the diagram. As I told you how to draw the curve, this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and you have to write what you are going to measure along with x-axis and along with y-axis. So in the x-axis, x-axis represents the demand for the commodity, y-axis represents the price of the commodity. According to the table, this is the table. So according to the table, we get the points when the price is 50, demand is 1. When the price is 40, demand is 2. Price is 30, demand is 3. Price is 20, demand is 4. And price is 10, demand is 5. So these points we get according to the table. When we join them, we get DD curve. DD is a demand curve which slopes downwards from left to right, and it shows the inverse relationship between price and demand. That is, higher the price, lower is the demand, lower the price, higher is the demand. Now, next point, exceptions to the law. Exceptions means there are certain exceptions to the law of demand. It means that under exceptional circumstances, consumer buys more when the price of the commodity rises, and he buys less when the price of the commodity falls. So the consumer does not behave according to the law, because our law states higher the price, lower is the demand, lower the price, higher is the demand. But sometimes, though the price is higher, consumer buys more, and when the price falls, he buys less. So they are called as exception to the law. And under exceptional conditions, only demand curve is having positive slope. It slopes upwards. Under exceptional conditions, demand curve slopes upwards like this. Otherwise, demand curve has negative slope. It slopes downwards. Okay. Now, what are the exceptions that we will see? Number 1, Giffen's paradox. Inferior goods or low quality goods are those goods whose demand does not rise even their price falls. At times, demand decreases when the prices of such commodities falls. Sir Robert Giffen observed this behavior in England in relation to bread, that is commodity bread. He noted that when the price of bread declined, people do not buy more because of an increase in their real income or purchasing power. They preferred to buy superior goods like meat or any other. This is known as Giffen's paradox. So according to Robert Giffen, he was an economist, and what he said, that when the prices of inferior goods falls, people don't buy them because their real income or their purchasing power is more. So they don't go for the inferior goods, they go for the superior goods. So in that case, when the price is falling, demand for that commodity is also falling. This is known as Giffen's paradox. Next, prestige goods. Expensive goods like diamond, gold, etc. are the status symbol. So rich people buy them when their prices are very high. It's not only about diamond or gold, it is about even Mercedes car or very precious cars. When their prices are very high, to show off, people are buying them though their price is very high. So in this case, the law does not apply. So this becomes an exception to the law. Prestige goods. Next, speculation. The law of demand does not hold true when people expect prices to rise still further. In this case, although the prices have risen today, consumer will demand more in anticipation of further rise in price. For example, prices of oil, prices of sugars generally rises before Diwali. So people go on purchasing more at a high price when they anticipate that price may rise during Diwali time. So when they speculate about the price to rise or price to fall, they don't behave according to the law of demand. So it becomes an exception to the law of demand. Next, price illusion. Consumers have an illusion that high price goods are of a better quality, and so the demand for such goods tends to increase with the rise in their prices. For example, branded products which are expensive are demanded more even at higher price. Generally we feel that the commodities in the mall are better, commodities in our nearby shops are not that good. So though the price is higher in the mall, we go buy them. This is what is called as price illusion. So in this case, consumers do not behave according to the law. So that becomes an exception to the law. Next, ignorance. Sometimes due to ignorance, people buy more of the commodity at high price. This happens when consumer is ignorant about the price of the commodity at other places. It happens many times with us also. We go and we buy the commodity. When we come back home, our neighbors are telling that, oh, this is very, very costly for you. I purchase it for this price, only less price in other market. So some consumers are ignorant, they don't know about the price rise or price falls, and so the law does not hold true in case of ignorance. So it becomes an exception to the law. Next, habitual goods. Due to habit of consumption, certain goods like tea is purchased at required quantities even at higher prices. Though the price is higher, some people have habit to have that commodity. They consume that commodity, whatever is their price. So the demand does not change when the price is rising or price is falling. So this becomes an exception to the law. So here your answer of law of demand is over. When the question will be there, the points you have to give in a systematic way. That the first point you have to give, that is introduction or the statement of the law. The second point is assumptions. Under assumptions, there are 7 assumptions. Then The explanation of the law, here you have to give the table, tabular explanation, diagrams explanation, exceptions, exceptional demand curve, and there are 6 exceptions to the law. So this entire thing you have to cover in your answer of law of demand. I hope you understood it very clearly. Thank you very much, students.